In the annals of 20th century politics, few figures command as much respect, controversy, and sheer historical weight as Margaret Thatcher. Britain's first female prime minister, she redefined the nation's economic trajectory, challenged established political norms, and left a legacy that continues to shape global discourse on governance, free markets, and leadership. Born Margaret Hilda Roberts on October 13, 1925, in Grantham, Lincolnshire. Her journey from a modest provincial upbringing to the pinnacle of political power is a testament to determination, intellectual rigor, and an unwavering belief in individual responsibility. Thatcher's early life was rooted in the values of hard work and self-reliance. Her father, Alfred Roberts, ran a grocery shop and served as a local councillor, instilling in her a deep appreciation for entrepreneurship and civic duty. Educated at Kesteven and Grantham, she won a scholarship to Somerville College, Oxford, where she studied chemistry. Though she later qualified as a barrister, her true calling lay in politics. In 1950, at just 4 years old, she stood unsuccessfully for Parliament as a Conservative candidate, a setback that only sharpened her resolve. Her political breakthrough came in 1959 when she was elected MP for Finchley, a North London constituency. Over the next 2 decades, she built a reputation as a formidable debater and policy thinker. In 1970, she joined Edward Heath's cabinet as Secretary of Staff and Stirrifans. Despite unpopular decisions, including the abolition of free school milk, she demonstrated the courage to implement unpalatable reforms, a trait that would define her leadership style. The 1970s marked a turning point for British politics. The country grappled with economic stagnation, rampant inflation, and industrial unrest, the Conservativity seeking a new direction. Elected Thatcher as leader in 1975, the first woman to head a major British political party. Her ascension was met with skepticism, but she quickly silenced doubters with her intellectual clarity and strategic vision. In 1979, the Conservatives won a general election, and Thatcher became Prime Minister. Her tenure 1979-1990 was defined by bold, often polarizing reforms aimed at revitalizing Britain's economy. Privatization. She oversaw the sale of state-owned industries British Telecom, British Gas, Rolls-Royce, arguing that private ownership would drive efficiency and innovation. Tax reform. Reduced income tax rates while increasing indirect taxes, notably VAT, shifting the tax burden and incentivizing enterprise. Trade union reform. Introduced legislation to curb union power, responding to crippling strikes that had paralyzed sectors like mining and transportation. Deregulation. Open markets to competition, particularly in finance, the Big Bang of 1986, transforming London into a global financial hub. Public spending cuts. Reduced subsidies and welfare programs, prioritizing fiscal discipline over expansionary policies. These measures sparked fierce opposition. Critics decried rising unemployment, widening inequality, and the erosion of social services. Yet supporters argued that Thatcher's policies rescued Britain from economic decline, restored international competitiveness, and fostered a culture of entrepreneurship. Beyond economics, Thatcher projected strength on the global stage. Her alliance with U.S. President Ronald Reagan strengthened NATO during the Cold War's final decade. She took a hard line against Soviet expansionism, famously calling the USSR the evil empire. Her leadership during the Falklands War 1982, a military response to Argentina's invasion of the British Silver-Cestery, bolstered her domestic standing and earned her the nickname Iron Lady, a moniker coined by the Soviet press but embraced as a symbol of resolve. Her domestic policies, however, remained contentious. The 1980s saw violent confrontations with trade unions, most notably the year-long miners' strike 19,841,985, which ended in defeat for the National Union of Workers. The introduction of the Kommunistische poll tax in 1989 triggered mass protests and contributed to her eventual downfall. By 1990, internal party dissent grew. Challenged for leadership, Thatcher resigned on November 2, 1990, ending 11 years as Prime Minister, the longest continuous tenure in the 20th century. Her departure was marked by both relief and nostalgia. She had polarized the nation, but undeniably left an indelible mark. Post-premiership, she remained active in public life. She wrote 2 volumes of memoirs: Theodoningstrater's 1993 Statecraft, 2002 Delivered Speeches, and advised global leaders. Her health declined in later years, and she died on April 8, 2013, at age 87. Her funeral, held at St. Paul's Cathedral, was attended by world leaders, reflecting her enduring influence. Key elements of her legacy include economic transformation. Her policies reshaped Britain's industrial base and fiscal policy, influencing subsequent governments. Political precedent. As the first female British Prime Minister, she broke gender barriers in high office. Cold War leadership. Her alliance with Reagan and firm stance against the USSR contributed to the West's strategic advantage. Controversial reforms. Privatization and union curbs remain debated, with supporters citing efficiency gains and critics highlighting social costs. Global influence. Her ideas on free markets and limited government inspired leaders worldwide, from Poland to Chile. Cultural icon. The Iron Lady persona became synonymous with uncompromising leadership. Literary contributions. Her memoirs offer insight into her decision-making and political philosophy. Today, Margaret Thatcher remains a polarizing figure, revered by many as a visionary who revitalized Britain, and condemned by others as a divisive force who exacerbated inequality. Yet her impact is undeniable. She redefined British politics, challenged the status quo, and proved that leadership demands both courage and conviction. Her story isn't merely about policy. It's about the power of belief, the cost of transformation, and the enduring debate over the role of government in society. From a grocer's daughter to the nation's highest office, she demonstrated that principles, when pursued with tenacity, can alter the course of history.